Hi everyone, my name is Anita Ladhani. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and an energy practitioner. And I am really excited about this video that I'm doing, and hopefully you're watching this because you're interested in the subject. And so if you are, I humbly suggest that you watch this at least twice so that you can absorb everything that is going to be shared here, and then you can put it into practice. So end of the year reflections, the word of the year, the concept of the word of the year, and starting 2019 with intention. What do I mean by that? So I want to share with you something that I've done for many, many years now. We all do, year, starting the year, we all set, these goals, right? Beginning of the year goals. But something that I've done, and it only is possible if you've actually taken the time to reflect at the beginning of the year, is then to do an end of the year reflection. And I've kept this particular one has been since 2015, actually 2014. But before that, I had a couple other journals that I was just sort of writing and exercising. So what is the end of the year reflection? End of the year reflection is literally sitting back and taking stock of how your year went. So if you've never done it before, it's fine, because the exercise I'm going to suggest to you, recommend, is actually going to be absolutely okay if you've never done it, but it's going to allow you to then be very cognizant and mindful of how you want 2019 to be. Now, do you want, 2019 to be just like 2018? Hopefully you had a great year, but maybe you didn't, right? So, what I've learned in my years of reading, my years of practicing, mindfulness, my years of, searching, our different, major religions, spirituality, whatever you want to call it, is that our thoughts create. Our thoughts are powerful. And so that means that, and there's something amazingly powerful about writing things down. There's a line, the very famous quote from The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, that says, when you are clear about what you want, when you know what you want, the entire universe conspires to, make that happen. Now, I'm paraphrasing. That's not the exact quote, but, it's when you're clear about what you want, then the energies shift, and God, the higher power, universal energy, whatever you want to call it, things start to align. You start to subconsciously move towards that, where you're taking certain actions to bring whatever it is you want into your life. So why not live a life of clarity and purpose instead of just sort of, surrendering it? And I mean, there's power in surrendering, but instead of just kind of sleepwalking and letting whatever comes, because, why take that chance when you have that control and you have that power? So the end of the year reflections, it's something that I actually found on Pinterest many years ago. I was, and I've talked about this last year. I've done this similar, process video where, there's different inspirational, motivational speakers who offer, end of the year packets that you can purchase from them. Or you can simply just, go to Pinterest, or you can simply just follow this particular one. So this is what this is. You write down, so year-end reflections, 10 highlights, 10 disappointments, 3 game changers, 3 things you focused on, 3 things you forgot, and then reflection. And so what it says is 10 highlights are accomplishments or best memories. So you're going to, hopefully, you're finishing up November, you've got all of December. It's okay if you don't get to it right at December, although that's ideal. There have been years when I was so busy with work or whatever that I've taken, it's been like the middle of January when I was sitting and doing this. No, nothing lost. It's fine if you're not, doing it at the end of the year. Stop whenever you get a chance and do it. So this is what I've done. I have this book, okay, and this was last year, and I don't know if you can tell, but I basically folded and said bringing in 2017. Before that, I've got, bringing in 2015, 2016. So I've done that, and of course, this was bringing in 2018, and then I've got enough room where I can probably do one more year before I have to switch to a new book. And I would just literally write down, okay, 10 highlights. Okay, so what were 10 accomplishments and 10 best memories for 2018? Then the next page, I would just go to a new page and then go 10 disappointments, failures, or missed opportunities. That's what that is. Then the game changers, 3 game changers. So game changers are unexpected events that shifted your priorities, right? So whether it's someone getting sick, or whether it's losing a job, or sometimes they're good things, and so whatever that is, that's 3 game changers, things that you didn't expect, and that completely shifted your priorities. The next thing is 3 things you focused on. So what you put the most of your time into. And it's important to know how you spent your time, because that completely, may shift where you go next year, if that works for you or didn't work for you. So 3 things you focused on, what you put the most of your time into. And then the next one is 3 things you forgot. So what you didn't get around to. And then the final one is a reflection. How does this inform your plans for next year? And so, I will try to type this up and, post this repeatedly until the end of the year, so you guys have this. But I mean, it's such a simple exercise, but I'll tell you, this is the end of the year reflection, right? And then what I've done is, based on that, I will sit and write down, then I'll go to the word of the year exercise, right? So what is the word of the year? The word of the year is a word that you pick, the energy of which you want to attract into your life. So my word of the year for 2018 is prosper. Now, it's amazing how that word came into my life. And I'm going to do another video about the word of the year. But the word of the year, you then basically talk about, how will this word, for me it was prosper, how will this word play out, manifest in my life and my to-dos for the 2019. And so then I wrote down, what's important. So of course it's your personal life, it's your, relationships, it's your work, your financial, it's your spirituality, it's your physical health, right? It's those are pretty much the areas that matter, right? So I wrote down, I want to prosper in my personal life, and I, wrote down what that would look like, how I wanted that to be in terms of, what I wanted that for my kids, what I wanted that for my family, how I wanted how I wanted prosper to show up in my work life, how I wanted that to be in terms of, the people that I work with, and whether it's my full-time job at the hospital or whether it's my private practice. And, I sure didn't expect to do the women's retreat this year. I mean, that was something that was on my to-do list for after the kids graduated. So I originally thought I would do it maybe in a couple of years, but it just kind of worked out where it was the right time. And then, of course, some other things that I want to do, so, traveling. So where did I want to travel to? What educational courses that I want to take, of course, it was the Diamond Jubilee year for us as Smileys. So, what expectations, what hopes and desires and dreams that I have for that. And, and then going forward, and just breaking that up into however you make it your own. But the word you pick is really important. And so I will do, like I said, another video on the word, at some point, maybe later today. But it's important to sit and think about 2019. It's going to be here in a little over a month. I mean, we're almost at the end of November. We've got December, and I know the holidays are fun, but they're busy. We've got parties and office parties and shopping and sales and, and enjoying the weather and, just everything else that comes with it. And, the kids and their concerts and this and that. But don't forget to pause and take time for yourself. So if you're just starting off new, may I suggest you go pick up a journal. Again, you know how much I love journals, but make this your, end of the year reflections, the word of the year, and your planning. This is your life journal. And that's all I do in this. This sits on my bookshelf until, the end of the year, and then and I write in it. And I actually, go through it at several times in the year. I don't have like set dates, but I find myself, reflecting. I remember looking at this around the time of my birthday. And I remember looking at it again, halfway, like July. I'm like, okay, the year is halfway over. How am I faring? And it was interesting, now at the end of the year, it's going to be interesting to see, what I've accomplished and what I've completely failed to do. I didn't even start. And again, what do I want to take into 2019? So please, my humble, urging, encouragement is take time and do this exercise, because it is a very, very powerful exercise. And coming up next is going to be a quick talk on the word of the year, how to pick it, how to know it's the right one, and then how to sort of make that happen in your life. Okay, thank you. Take care. God bless.